Sometimes we can be going for a while on our, health journey. We start to see results, the results that we're looking for. And, I just want to say that oftentimes our results are just based on the external. And we really have to base it on something more significant. I think this level of honesty is so important for us to be able to accomplish the goals that we need, because we can trick ourselves mentally into thinking, oh, it's cool, let me just go back and try this, and say we have some sort of a food that's addictive. And then it grabs a hold of us because we assume that we can go and have it again. And, we also have these lies that say, oh, everything in moderation, which is ridiculous, because why should you have toxins in moderation or have something that's designed to be harmful and addictive for you? So sometimes we can be on this journey of health. We're getting healthy. We're starting to see these external results. And we're not paying attention or focusing back on the most important thing. And that's to actually build a new habit. And in order to do that, we have to be honest with ourselves about why we had the other previous habits, and we have to be honest about what we've already learned. And I have to say, pay attention to it. Pay attention to how your body responds to certain thoughts, to certain environments, to certain foods. And pay attention so that you can learn something about yourself and set up better habits. And then when you get these suggestions of going back to places that aren't beneficial, going back to eating these junk foods, then you can be honest with yourself and able yourself to stay healthy. See, we can examine these lies like everything in moderation, and we can really take a look and say, wait a second, I'm just doing what's healthy anyway. And really examine, are we still on this diet mindset, to where let me accomplish this one thing, I feel good that I can go in this direction, and we just assume it's going to keep going in that direction without actually taking those steps? No. Matter of fact, when your body starts to get to a point to where you're not thinking about these toxic foods, I had one, client that they've been off of, certain foods for a while. And, my goal or my hope is that they don't look at the results and then say, oh, let me just go try it, everything's fine, because there's not much support out there when it comes to really living healthy. There's a lot of support and encouragement to not live healthy, to just, let it go just this one time. But the thing is that we have to be honest about what's not a one-time force. And so what I want to encourage you to do is to, when you start to obtain those goals, accomplish those goals, really be honest with yourself when those thoughts come back to you to say, oh, maybe I can have some ice cream, or maybe I'll have this. It's like, what are you really doing this for? Like, what is your goal to really be healthy? And do you really need that? And to be honest, that many of these things that we consider to be foods, things have been addictive. These are not even foods. They're not even nourishment for our body, but they're substances created from companies that were been able to sell them, which they shouldn't be able to, because of the harm it does. But be honest with yourself. When you look at the results that you've accomplished so far, think about how much better you'll be able to feel. You have the little bit that you've accomplished. Think about all the other things that have actually taken place in order for you to be able to accomplish that, and build your appreciation around that, and understand what has taken place, and which will help you to start to build the value and stay on the path of healthy. Not a diet, not following a plan that a trainer gave you, but from what you've learned, from what you've assessed up until this time. Take that and then utilize that to continue to make adjustments as you move forward. Not as an excuse to make, and not as an open door to make excuses just to, do whatever you want. Because it's not about the external anyway. It's about the inside. It's about your organs, how they're functioning, how you want them to function long term. And it's about your brain and your mind. What sort of development or addictive patterns do you want to break in your physical brain? What sort of patterns do you want to break in your mind, in your thoughts, and your emotions? Do you want to be tied to something? No. Do you want to feel like you always have to resist this particular food? And so consider that, because when your body gets to a point to where it's like, you know what, I can look at it and it's not bugging me anymore, it's not drawing me, well, stick with that, because now you're in control over your health, okay? So you all, just wanted to remind you of that and encourage you to keep going, keep learning, and keep setting your goal for health, okay? Don't pay attention to the pressure all around. You keep yourself focused and in the direction of health. I'll talk to you all soon. You have a good day. Bye.